Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's practice. My name is Dorian. Thanks so much for showing up. Thanks for being yourselves, and thanks for being here to support this community of yoga practitioners. For today's practice, I recommend that everybody have 2 yoga blocks and a blanket. Obviously, if you don't have those props, it's really okay to get creative with whatever it is that you have in your space. Also, you should have access to a wall or at least something that you can put your legs up like a chair or a couch. And that's a hint for what is going to come later. So today's practice is all about balance. In yoga, we talk a lot about physical balance, what it takes to stand on 2 feet or 1 foot or 2 hands or sometimes even 1 hand. But there's also an experience of emotional balance, which is when you feel that you are at peace, when you are at ease. And then also a sense of mental balance, which is a state where you are able to think clearly. For me, in my practice, all of this starts with balancing the breath. And so that's what we're going to start off with today. So once you have your props, once you have all of your things that you need, you can go on ahead and find your way to a seat of your choice. Could be a cross-legged seat, could be some other variation. You could even sit in a chair if that's what feels best. But once you find your way into a seat of your choice, you can go ahead and allow your palms to rest on your body somewhere. So they might be on your thighs, they might be against your chest. I'm going to take my hands and place them on my belly because that is a place that I like to find my breath. And then once your hands are touching your skin, you can go ahead and soften your gaze or close your eyes. Just tapping into the rooted support of your seat and also tapping into your awareness of your breathing. Just noticing the movement of your breath against any place that you might be touching. Noticing the inhales and exhales without judgment. Just filling up and emptying out. You might take this time at the beginning of our practice to separate yourself from anything that might have happened before, anything that might have been distracting. So that you can just be present for yourself, so that you can be present for your practice, for your moment. In order to create some balance in our breath, we're going to start to count the breathing. So you're going to start to inhale for a count of 4. So it's going to be inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep it up, counting your breathing for counts of 4 in and counts of 4 out. I'm just using that stability to balance the breath. It's okay if your counts slow down, it's okay if your counts speed up. But do try to find the balance so that your inhales and exhales are the same count. And after your next exhale, you can begin to resume your normal breathing. Just noticing anything about the balance of the breath that might have influenced the balance of the body or the balance of the mind. Good work, everybody. Whenever you are ready, you can begin to flutter your eyelids open. And then we're going to come to a specific seat. So you can go on ahead and extend your legs forwards towards the front edge of your mat and give your legs a little bit of a shake out. Take your hands by your hips with your fingers pointed forward and your elbows pointed backwards. And then just press the palms against the earth so that some energy comes into your arms, presenting your heart, sending your soles away from your hips, and lengthening the crown of your head up towards the sky. You might even lift the tops of your ears slightly so that the chin isn't jutting upwards, and just feel the natural curves of your spine here. And then keeping that gentle pressure of your palms against the earth, start to point your toes forwards away from your hips. And then do the opposite. Curl the toes back towards your face. Pointing the toes away from your hips. And then drawing the toes back. And just start to do that in your body. You might start to feel your ankles beginning to warm up. See if you can feel the articulation of the balls of the feet. And just notice how any other parts of your legs start to warm up or gain some awareness in your present state. Amazing. You can stop that, give your legs a little bit of a shake out. And then go ahead and grab one of your blocks. And you're going to take that block at its narrowest setting and slide it in between your thighs. Take your thighs in towards the sides of the block so you're actively squeezing the block with your legs. Hands are once again going to come back by your hips, fingers forward, elbows point back, present the chest. And now squeezing the block with your thighs, point and flex your ankles. So pointing forward and drawing back. And just noticing how the block in between the thighs might change anything. It might be harder, it might be easier. There might be a little bit more stability in the motion of your legs. Keep breathing as you find your way through. And getting used to that sensation of having the block in between your thighs. That's another hint. Nice, everyone. You can release the block from in between your thighs. Give your legs a little bit of a shake out. And now start to roll your ankles. Rolling the toes away from each other. And then changing directions, rolling the toes in towards each other. Good. Give your legs a little bit of a shake out. Coming back into any seat that feels appropriate. Could be cross-legged, could be some other variation. You're going to take your hands and interlace the fingers. Sealing the heels of your hands, wrists, and elbows, so squeezing your forearms together. Lifting the elbows to the heights of the shoulders, start to make some figure eights with your wrists. So sliding the wrist joint around in one direction. And in the opposite direction. Keeping your fingers interlaced, flex the heels of your hands away from your heart space. Take a big breath in, and a big breath out. Keeping the fingers interlaced, rise the heels of your hands up towards the sky. Like you're raising the roof, press the palms up towards the ceiling, navel towards backbone, staying for a big breath in, and a big breath out. Releasing your interlaced fingers, you can shake out your wrists, shake out your shoulders. And from here, we're going to meet up in a hands and knees pose. If your knees are sensitive, you can use a blanket underneath your knees for extra cushion. And I would stack the blocks to the upper right and left hand corners of your space just so that they're close by for when you might need to grab a hold of a block for support. In your hands and knees pose, just shift your shoulders from side to side, hips from side to side, feeling the balance of the pressure of your palms, the shins, and the tops of your feet against the earth. That physical balance. Not forgetting the breathing balance, so not forgetting the flow of the inhales and the exhales. And then eventually coming to a soft stillness. Step your left foot to the back end of your mat, attaching your left toes to the ground. And then just start to rock your body forwards and backwards. So the crown of the head reaches forward on one breath, and the left heel presses towards the space behind you with the exhale. Feeling the shoulders move forward almost in front of the fingertips. And feeling the pressure of the pads of the fingers and the heels of the hands against the earth. Come to a stillness when the shoulders are on top of the wrists. Hug the navel in towards the backbone and lift your left heel away from the ground. Try to keep your left toes dialed down so that the inner left thigh is lifting. And then extend your right fingers forwards towards the front of the space. Now, finding the balance here between the pressure of the left palm and the right foot as you lengthen your body, stay for a big breath in and a big breath out. Breathing in, breathing out. On your next inhale, lifting a little bit higher, so lifting the right fingers and the left heel. As you exhale, draw your right elbow to your left knee. Inhale to lengthen arm and leg back out long. Exhale, elbow to knee. 3 more times, lengthening, drawing in, lengthening out, drawing in. 1 more time, lengthen out, and draw in. Come back into hands and knees pose, and shift your body from side to side. You might make some circles of shoulders above wrists, hips above knees. Making sure to switch directions. And then we're just going to take it over to the other side. So stepping your right foot to the back end of the mat, rocking your body forwards and backwards, coming onto the top of that right foot, and then pressing back through the right heel. Next time shoulders are on top of wrist, navel to spine, squeeze the right glute and see if you can lift the right heel away from the earth. Extending your left fingers forwards towards the front of your space, broaden your back body from shoulder to shoulder, broaden your hips in the back towards the sacrum, staying for a big breath in, a big breath out. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, lift a little higher. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale to lengthen. Elbow to knee. 3 more times. Lengthen out. Elbow to knee. Lengthen out. Elbow to knee. Last time. Lengthening out. Elbow to knee. Coming back into your hands and knees pose. Tuck the toes underneath, take a big breath in. Exhaling to a downward facing dog. So lifting your hips up and back towards the space behind you. It's our first down dog of practice, so you can feel free to give it a little bit of motion, pedaling the heels towards the earth and rooting the finger pads against the ground. You might shake your head no or nod your head yes, letting go of tension in the neck and the upper spine. And it's very okay to keep your knees soft. Eventually settling into your down dog, stillness, staying for a full breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Ah. Using an inhale, rolling forward to come into a plank pose, rippling through the spine, stacking shoulders on top of wrists. Head forward, heels back. Stay for a big breath in. A big breath out. One more inhale. Child's pose, knees soften down to the earth, hips reach back towards your heels. As your forehead floats down to the earth or to a block, you might rock your body gently from side to side. It's really okay here to flip your palms face up towards the sky and put a gentle bend in your elbows just to take the weight out of the arms. Coming back to that balance of the breath, noticing the movement of the inhales and the exhales. And then in your child's pose shape, walk the hands over towards the right. You might come onto tented fingers. Softening your forehead towards the ground, breathe into your left side ribs, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. Start to walk your hands over towards the left side of your body. Make it feel like a side bend in the torso. Open up the right side ribs. Stay for a big breath in. A big breath out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Walking your hands back forwards towards the front edge of your mat. Taking the inhale to find hands and knees pose. Exhaling to a downward facing dog. This time with an inhale, stretching the right leg up high to the sky, coming into a three-legged dog shape. Just like when we were in hands and knees, try to keep those right toes dialed down towards the earth instead of opening up your hips. So try to keep the hips neutral. Using your exhale, draw the right knee into your nose, hug the navel towards the backbone, and then step the right foot forward to the top of your mat. Stretching your right knee forward, you might wiggle the left heel back to deepen the space in between your two legs. And then feel the right thigh bone moving forwards and down. Feel the left thigh bone moving back and up. You might lift your gaze slightly, staying for a big breath in and a big breath out. Again, breathing in and breathing out. Grab your blocks, taking one block underneath each hand. Mindfully, you might have to change the setting of the block to a higher setting. That's totally cool. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, lengthen your right leg, drop your chin into your chest, soften the back of the neck. Staying here for a big breath in and a big breath out. One more time. Big breath in and big breath out. Inhale, bend your right knee, shifting back into a lunge shape. Exhale, lengthen your right leg. Inhale, shifting forward, bending the right knee. Exhale to lengthen your right leg. Last time like this. Inhale, bend the right knee. And then exhale, lengthen your right leg. Flex the right ankle, lifting your right toes away from the earth. And then start to turn your body sideways so that you're facing the long edge of your mat, dropping your head towards the earth for a wide-legged standing forward fold. You can feel free to take blocks along with you if that's a better fit for your body today. Allowing the hands to come down to the earth or to blocks. Press into the outer edges of your feet using an inhale to lengthen your spine, half lift. Exhale, drop your head forward fold. Again, inhale, lengthen your spine and lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift your torso upright. Soften a bend in your right knee. Turn your right toes forward. Crawling your palms back forwards towards the front of your mat to come into a lunge shape. And then we're going to turn this into a twist. So the left hand stays under the left shoulder as you raise your right arm up to the sky. Keep pressing back through that left heel. Keep drawing the navel center in towards the backbone. But it is very okay to find an upper back bend here, lifting the gaze, chin away from the chest. Big breath in. Exhale, the right hand comes down to the earth so that your palms are framing your front foot. Stepping back to plank pose. Bending your elbows straight back, lower your body all the way down to the ground. It's okay to lower your knees first. And then pressing the tops of your feet. So untuck your toes so the tops of the feet come down to the ground. Hug the elbows in towards the ribs. Navel to spine. Squeeze your glutes as you lift your heart any amount away from the ground for a cobra shape. Staying for a full breath in. Exhaling through child's pose into downward facing dog. As you are ready, sending that left leg up high to the sky. Stretching back through the left heel, dialing down the left toes. Using the exhale to draw the left knee into your nose, rounding forward. And then stepping that left foot to the top of the mat. Stretching your left knee forward, right heel back. Once again, you might have to wiggle that right foot so that you can lengthen your right leg. Staying for a full breath in. And a full breath out. Again, breathing in and breathing out. Grabbing your blocks, taking those blocks underneath your hands. Big breath in here. As you exhale, begin to lengthen that left leg, dropping your chin into your chest. It's okay if the right heel doesn't make it all the way down to the ground. It's okay if your legs are not perfectly straight. We're just trying to find balance in the body. Big inhales in. Deep exhales out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Taking the inhale to soften a bend in your left knee. Find the lunge. Exhale, lengthen your left leg. Inhale, lengthen left leg. Find the lunge. Exhale, lengthen left leg. One more time, lengthening or bending your left knee, shifting forward, finding that lunge. And then lengthening your left leg. Flex the left ankle, lift up your left toes. Turn your body sideways to face the long edge of your mat for your wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. Dropping the head and shoulders down towards the earth, maybe as you press your toes and heels against the ground, you can drop the head a little closer towards the earth this time. Palms press against the earth or blocks, half lift. Exhale, fold down. Again, inhale, half lift. Exhale, folding down. Taking the half lift to lengthen the spine. Soften a bend in your left knee, turn the left toes forward, crawling your hands towards the front edge of your mat to come back into your lunge shape. And then our twist, right hand down under the right shoulder. Start to lift your left arm up to the sky, keeping the length in your spine, right heel back, head forward, big breath in. Exhale, the left hand comes back down to the earth, stepping back to plank pose. Bending your elbows straight back as you lower your body to the ground. Over the tops of your feet, pressing your toenails against the earth, elbows in towards ribs. Finding the lift of your chest for a cobra pose shape. Staying for a full breath in. Exhaling into your downward facing dog. One footstep at a time, begin to travel forwards towards the top edge of your mat. Take as much time as you need. It's okay to keep a soft bend in the knees here. And then whenever you reach the top, go ahead and let your body sway from side to side. Head and shoulders hang heavy. Soften the muscles of your face. You might flutter out the lips. It's okay to give your head a few shakes no and nods yes. Eventually finding your way to a stillness and a forward fold. Shifting the weight forward into the balls of your feet, contract your lower abdominal muscles. Keep the knees soft as you begin to roll all the way up to a stand. So stacking the vertebrae one on top of another as you rise all the way to your full height. And then once you come to your full height, just leave the feet as they are and roll your shoulders up, back, down, away from your ears. Again, pressing into the feet, shoulders up, back, down. And then one more time, rolling the shoulders up, back, and down. Good. Opening your palms forwards towards the front of your space, spreading your fingers nice and wide to find our way into mountain pose shape, Tadasana. In your mountain pose shape, for a moment, soften your gaze or close your eyes and just notice how stable does it feel to you. Is there anything that you could do within your own body that would make it feel more secure, more stable? And that's a personal question and a personal answer. Coming back to our group experience, shifting the weight forward into the balls of your feet slightly so that you can feel the equal pressure in your big toes and the outer heels. Begin to firm up the muscles in your legs, so squeeze the thighs so that you lift them away from the kneecaps. You might feel a slight squeeze of the glutes, not too much gripping there, and certainly not too much locking of the knees. The navel center comes in towards the backbone. The heart lifts a little bit towards the face, and the chin drops a little bit towards the heart. Staying here for a full breath in, a full breath out, a big breath in, and a big breath out. Keeping your upper body nice and stable, begin to rock forwards and backwards, so rocking into the balls of your feet and toes, and then rocking back into your heels. Into the toes, and into the heels. And just allow this to happen with your breath, moving forwards and backwards, noticing stability, noticing balance. And you might find that this stays really subtle, but you might come all the way into the balls of the feet, pressing into the big toes, lifting the heels away from the ground. And then you might lower the heels back, shifting back into the heels and curling the toes off of the earth. It's really up to you how far this goes, but just noticing how much of your foot presses against the earth at any one point in time. Really good. Now shake that off. Step the inner edges of your feet together so that the big toes come to touch. Now, even this feels a little bit uncomfortable. Try to get your feet a little closer together than they were in our last exercise. Hands once again open towards the front of your space, shifting forwards and backwards. And just noticing if this changes your balance. Notice if having the toes a little closer together changes anything for you, or if you are able to repeat the same stability that you did with the feet a little bit farther apart. Noticing even if you can sustain the lift of the heels or the lift of the toes. Good. Now shake that out. Awesome. Now we're going to step the feet a little wider than hips width distance. So the toes are still going to stay forwards facing the front of your space, but the feet are a little bit wider than the hips. Once again, arms come back by your sides, navel to spine, start to rock forwards and backwards, balls of the feet, back into the heels. And just noticing here if anything feels different to you, if you can discern if there's a placement for your feet that makes you feel most balanced on two legs. Amazing. Give it a little shake out. Go ahead and grab your block. So we're going to take this block and we are going to slide it in between our thighs. Same like when we were sitting on the ground. Only difference is we're standing up. So first things first, squeeze your thighs against that block and then press the soles of your feet down against the earth. So the first thing that happens is my glutes might start to turn on. Instead of sticking your bum out, can you draw the navel center in so the hips travel slightly forward and you can begin to feel your big toe mounds pressing securely against the ground. Hands by your sides, palms face forward. Keeping the block in between your thighs, begin to rock forwards and backwards. And just once again, noticing the distribution of weight between the right and left feet. Noticing where you find your balance. And it might be in a place that surprises you. It might be all the way back on your heels. That might be where you feel most balanced. It might be all the way up on your tippy toes. It might be somewhere in between. Good. You can remove your block. And then once again, come back into a natural stance. Soles of the feet against the earth, palms forward, and just notice where you carry the weight of your body. Notice where you feel balanced in between your 2 feet. Stay for a big breath in and a big breath out. Great, everyone. Go ahead, take your hands onto your hips. Step the inner edges of your feet together so that your big toes once again are touching. And then begin to shift the weight of your body over onto your left foot. So shifting the weight of your body onto the left foot. Lifting your right heel away from the ground. And then lifting your right foot any amount away from the ground. So you can stay low. You might lift that right knee up so that your right thigh is perpendicular to your torso. Stay here for a big breath in. A big breath out. A breath in, a breath out. It's really okay to take your hands to a wall or a chair here if your balance is not feeling great in this moment. From here, you might keep hands on hips. You might open the arms wide to the side. Stay for a big breath in, a big breath out, a big breath in, a big breath out. Good. Last part of this, arms are going to lift up towards the sky maybe. Stay for a big breath in. A big breath out, a big breath in, a big breath out. Step the sole of your right foot to meet your left, finding a soft chair pose moment. So just softening the knees, guiding the thigh bones back. And then once again, hands come to your hips. Standing up nice and tall. Shift the weight over onto your right foot, lifting up your left heel. And then lifting your left foot any amount away from the ground. First, finding the balance on that right foot. Make it feel as secure as being on 2 feet. Stay for a big breath in, a big breath out, a big breath in, a big breath out. Opening the arms wide to the sides, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Arms overhead, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. Stepping the sole of your left foot down to the ground, coming once again back into your soft chair pose shape. And then once again, mountain pose. Arms drop by your sides. You can separate your feet, give yourself a little wiggle. And just notice anything that might feel different thus far in your body, noticing anything that might feel more balanced or anything that you might be deepening your awareness of your body about. All right, here we go. Facing the front edge of your mat, with feet about a hip's width distance apart, hands are going to come to your hips. Shifting your weight over onto your left foot, just like we just did, we're going to pick up the right foot. The right knee might lift up towards the chest. And then from here, arms rise up high to the sky. Start to tilt your torso forward, extending the right foot back, and then landing the right toes to find your way into a high standing lunge shape. It's okay to have a soft bend in your right knee. Try to keep that right heel lifted, left toes and left knee pointed forward. Staying here for a full breath in and a full breath out. Using an inhale, lengthen your left leg. Exhale, bend your left knee. Lengthen the left leg. Bend the left knee. One more time, lengthen your left leg and bend your left knee. Keeping the bend in the left knee, step the right foot forward so that you're in your chair pose. Hands come to your hips, stand up nice and tall. Go ahead, begin to soften your knees. And then stepping your left foot back. Rising your arms up high to the sky, finding your high lunge shape. It's okay once again to soften and bend that left knee. Lengthen your right leg. Bend your right knee. Right leg long. Right knee bends. One more time, right leg long. Right knee bends. Keep the right knee bent, step back into your chair pose shape. Hands come to your hips, standing all the way up nice and tall. Whew. All right. Once again, rise your arms up high above your head, fingertips reaching up towards the sky. Soften a bend in your knees. Shifting your weight into your left foot, step your right foot back. This time, the arms and torso are going to start to reach forward, and the right leg is going to lift away from the ground any amount. It's okay to keep that soft bend in your left knee, staying for a big breath in, a big breath out, breathing in, breathing out. One more time, big breath in, and big breath out. Step into chair pose, hands to the hips, stand up tall. Last time like this. Go ahead, rise your arms up high to the sky, soften and bend in your knees. Step your left foot back. Keeping that soft bend in your right knee, tilt the torso forwards towards the front of your space, and then lift your left foot any amount away from the ground. Big breath in, big breath out. Breathing in, breathing out. One more time, big breath in, and big breath out. Step back into your chair pose. Hands come to the hips, stand up nice tall. Give our body a little bit of a shakeout. We're gonna slow things down. We're gonna take things to the ground. But for a moment, notice the exertion of your body. Notice anything that might have shifted or changed in your breath. Come back to the balance of your breath. So the next portion of our class is going to be legs up the wall. So this is where the wall comes in. So it can be difficult to find your way into legs up the wall shape. Something that helps me is getting close to the wall so that one of my hips is touching the wall. So my left hip is right over, snug up against the wall here. And then rocking the weight of my body back into my hands. And taking my legs up the wall. From here, I'm going to use my torso to help shimmy the legs directly up towards the sky. And here, it might be nice to allow the palms to rest face up towards the sky. It's also really okay to take your hands over your belly. You can even take your hands behind your head with the elbows and the shoulder blades resting against the earth. Anywhere that feels appropriate, just to give the legs a little bit of a break here. And we're gonna be this shape for about 5 minutes. So taking the time here to just soften. Taking a full breath in and a deep sigh out. Gently bending your knees, stepping the soles of your feet against your wall. You might hug the knees into the chest gently. Taking a soft roll over onto your side body. And eventually finding your way upright. Coming back into a seat of your choice. And just witnessing anything that might have changed or shifted or grown or deepened. Tracing the path of our journey. Noticing what felt like balance. And just noticing where you land. Taking a moment of gratitude, allowing the palms to come to a prayer at the heart center, folding the chin in towards the chest. Thanking you for sharing this time with me. Thanking you for taking this time for yourself. And in appreciation for the practice of yoga. Coming back to a place of balance, back to the breath, a deep inhale through the nose. Out through the mouth. Thanks everyone so much for joining this practice. Hopefully there were some aspects of it that felt good to you. And if any did, you can feel free to watch the class again and take any parts of it and make them a part of your practice. Thanks for sharing your time with me, and I'll see you next time.